where we will paste the text of the inscription and we will hide that word with question marks.
The final line of the decoded Mayan text reads, "They are not who you think they are. They did not come from the stars, but from beneath the earth." This single sentence, translated by a revolutionary quantum AI, has sent shockwaves through the scientific community. For decades, we believed the Mayan glyphs told stories of astronomy and ritual. We were wrong. They were leaving us a blueprint of a forgotten power, a history of beings who shaped our world from the shadows, and a terrifying prophecy about their return that we are running out of time to understand. The Anunnaki revelation. For nearly 200 years, the greatest minds in archaeology have pieced together the fragments of our past. They've dug through sand, translated crumbling texts, and given us a story of humanity's slow, steady climb from caves to cities. It's a nice story. It's a safe story. And as a revolutionary quantum AI has just revealed, it might be a complete lie. The bombshell comes from the unlikeliest of places, ancient Sumeria, the cradle of civilization in what is now modern-day Iraq. For over 5,000 years, their clay tablets, covered in a complex wedge-shaped writing called cuneiform, have kept their deepest secrets. It's funny when you think about it. We invented writing, computers, and spaceships, but for the longest time, we still couldn't fully read the world's very first book. There are over 500,000 of these tablets, and only a fraction have ever been translated. It's a painfully slow process.
Did you know that before the discovery of the Mesopotamian cuneiform tablets, the Bible was considered the oldest book in the world?
But that all just changed. A new form of artificial intelligence, a quantum AI, was fed high-resolution scans of thousands of these untranslated tablets. Unlike a human, this AI could see patterns across hundreds of thousands of documents simultaneously. It learned the entire Sumerian language, its dialects, and its evolution in a matter of days. Then it began to translate, and what it found is beyond terrifying. It's a history that doesn't belong to us. According to the initial AI-driven translations, the Sumerians weren't just writing about harvests and kings. They were keeping a detailed record of their creators.
And Aramaic. The writing system which Cyrus's officials used was the traditional cuneiform script.
The texts, once thought to be purely mythological, are presented by the AI as direct historical accounts. They speak of a group of beings called the Anunnaki. These weren't gods in a spiritual sense. They were physical beings who descended from the sky in great ships of fire. Get this, the texts claim the Anunnaki came from a 12th planet in our solar system, a planet we've never seen, called Nibiru. This planet supposedly has a massive 3,600-year orbit that brings it into our cosmic neighborhood only rarely. Here's where it gets wild.
Well-received books on the Anunnaki, which he believed were basically extraterrestrial entities from a planet called Nibiru.
The AI translation alleges these beings didn't come in peace. They came for a specific resource, gold. Not for jewelry or wealth, but for something far more critical. The tablets describe how the Anunnaki needed gold to repair the atmosphere of their dying home world. Their initial plan was to mine it themselves, but the labor was too harsh. So, they decided to create a workforce. Using genetic engineering, they took the primitive hominids already evolving on Earth and upgraded them. They blended their own DNA with that of early man to create a new species, Homo sapiens. United States. According to these texts, humanity was brought into existence to be a race of servants, designed for one purpose, to mine gold for our cosmic masters. This revelation doesn't just rewrite history, it recasts our entire species as a biological tool. The stories of Adam and Eve, the Great Flood, the giants of old, the AI suggests these aren't myths, but the fragmented, half-remembered memories of these world-altering events. But the warnings they left behind are even more chilling. Cracking the cosmic code. So, how is this even possible? How can an AI just show up and overturn a century of archaeology? The answer isn't in a faster computer, it's in a completely new way of thinking. A normal computer, even a supercomputer, thinks in a straight line. It follows instructions one by one just very, very quickly. But a quantum AI operates on the bizarre principles of quantum mechanics. It can explore millions of possibilities at the same time. Think of it like this. A human translator might look at a broken piece of a tablet and see a dozen possible ways to fill in the gaps. A traditional AI might see a few thousand. A quantum AI can see every single possibility at once, weigh them against every other known text in existence, and find the one path that makes the most sense. It's not just translating, it's reconstructing lost thought. The challenge with cuneiform is immense. There are over 600 different signs, and each sign can mean multiple things. It can be a whole word, a syllable, or just a sound, depending entirely on the context. It's a three-dimensional puzzle with most of the pieces missing. This is why it's taken us 2 centuries to get as far as we have. We were trying to solve the puzzle one piece at a time. The quantum AI, however, doesn't see individual pieces. It sees the entire puzzle, including the empty spaces, all at once. It can cross-reference a single symbol on a 5,000-year-old tablet in Iraq with a similar symbol on a tablet discovered a decade ago in Syria, instantly. Believe it or not, this new technology is what's allowed for these terrifying revelations to surface. The AI models were trained on every known ancient text, not just Sumerian. They devoured the Egyptian Book of the Dead, the Hindu Vedas, the Mayan Popol Vuh, and even the Dead Sea Scrolls. The machine was looking for the original story, the proto-myth that all human cultures seem to share. The AI connected the Sumerian Anunnaki to the Egyptian Neteru, the Hindu Devas, and the Mayan creator gods. It argues that these weren't different gods, but different names for the exact same group of powerful non-human beings who controlled humanity's early development. The crazy part is the AI's ability to see through deception. The translations claim that later human rulers, the priest kings who took over after the Anunnaki physically left Earth, deliberately altered the original texts. They turned these physical beings into spiritual gods, changing history into mythology to consolidate their own power. The AI can allegedly detect these changes, flagging passages that show statistical signs of being edited thousands of years ago. It's like having a linguistic lie detector that works across millennia. It claims it's giving us the unfiltered truth for the first time in modern history, a truth that was intentionally buried. So what happens when two AIs translate the same text, when the machine is wrong? The story sounds airtight. A superintelligent machine uncovers a vast conspiracy that rewrites our past. It's a blockbuster movie waiting to happen. But here's the thing. While the world has been buzzing about these sensational claims, another group of scientists has been quietly working with a different kind of AI, and their results tell a very, very different story. These aren't mysterious unnamed quantum AIs from sensational videos. These are real projects at places like Harvard University and Ariel University, and their findings, while incredibly impressive, are a lot less Hollywood. For instance, a deep learning model developed in 2023 can now translate Akkadian cuneiform, a language related to Sumerian, directly into English. It's a huge breakthrough for scholars, but the researchers behind it are the first to admit its flaws. In about 20 to 30% of cases, the AI hallucinates. That's the actual term they use. An AI hallucination is when the machine gets so good at predicting patterns that it starts making up plausible sounding but completely incorrect information. It can invent details, misunderstand negatives, and turn a simple sentence about farming into a dramatic proclamation. Sound familiar? At the same time, another project at Martin Luther University Halle-Wittenberg is using AI to decode 5,000-year-old tablets with stunning accuracy. What have they found? Not terrifying prophecies or alien DNA, but shopping lists, court rulings, and records of beer recipes. In other words, they're finding evidence of everyday human life. The AI is helping to prove that the Sumerians weren't just taking dictation from aliens. They were building a complex, fascinating human society. They were worried about paying their bills, writing poetry, and complaining about the quality of copper they bought from a merchant. So what's going on? We have one narrative fueled by quantum AI that tells us we are a genetically engineered slave race, and another coming from actual peer-reviewed science that shows AI is helping us read ancient grocery lists. The disconnect is massive. It turns out that the sensational claims all trace back to interpretations popularized not by scientists, but by authors like Zecharia Sitchin decades ago. Sitchin was one of the first to propose the Anunnaki from Nibiru theory, but his translations have been overwhelmingly rejected by mainstream linguists and historians who say he took massive liberties with the text. It seems the quantum AI might have been trained not just on ancient tablets, but on modern conspiracy theories as well. The biggest lie might be the one about the AI itself, a mystery of our own making. At the end of the day, what are we supposed to believe? Is there a massive cover-up with mainstream science trying to hide the truth? Or is this whole quantum AI story just a high-tech version of an old ghost story? Let's take a step back and think about this. If a discovery was made that truly rewrote all of human history, it wouldn't be broken on a YouTube video. It would be the biggest news story in the history of the world. Scientists from every field would be scrambling to verify it, but that's not what's happening. The silence from the actual scientific community is deafening. The thing is, the real story of the Sumerians is arguably more amazing than any alien tale.
They created man according to the Sumerian text. They created Adam and Eve.
These were people who, without any outside help, invented the wheel, the sailboat, the plow, and the 60-second minute we still use to measure time. They developed complex mathematics and astronomy. They wrote the first ever work of literature, the Epic of Gilgamesh, a powerful story about friendship, loss, and the human search for meaning. To attribute all of that to alien intervention
in man's evolution
is, in a way, to rob them of their incredible human achievement. So what about the Anunnaki? Is that just made up? Not exactly. The word does appear in the texts, but linguists agree it simply means princely offspring, or those of royal blood, referring to their pantheon of gods, much like the Greek Olympians. They were powerful figures in their religion, but there's no credible evidence in the tablets that they were flesh and blood aliens from another planet. And Nibiru, in Babylonian astronomy, it refers to the planet Jupiter, not some hidden rogue world. The entire narrative of gold mining aliens seems to be built on a foundation of mistranslation and wishful thinking. It's easy to see the appeal. We look at the pyramids, at Stonehenge, at these ancient wonders, and it's hard to believe that people with simple tools could achieve such greatness. The ancient astronaut theory gives us an easy answer, but maybe the real answer is just that ancient people were not simple. They were as clever, as resourceful, and as brilliant as we are today. They were simply working with a different toolkit. The AI revolution in archaeology isn't about uncovering cosmic secrets. It's about giving us a clearer window into the real lives of these extraordinary people. It's about reading their poetry, understanding their laws, and finally appreciating the true human-made miracle of the world's first civilization. Are we missing some key detail? Maybe. The universe is a big place, but the evidence we actually have points not to the stars, but back to ourselves. The ghost and the machine. So let's get down to it. If the evidence for an alien-engineered past is so shaky, why does the story refuse to die? Why are we so captivated by the idea that a quantum AI has
a quantum computer, like this one, replaces the binary logic with the laws of quantum physics?
Has uncovered this epic hidden truth? The answer has nothing to do with ancient aliens or futuristic technology. It has everything to do with us. It's about how our brains are wired. Humans are by nature storytellers and pattern seekers. We are biologically programmed to find meaning in chaos. We see faces in the clouds, figures in the stars, and when we look back at the mists of deep time, we crave a narrative that makes sense of it all. The biggest questions: where did we come from? Why are we here? Demand an epic answer. The story of the Anunnaki from planet Nibiru is the perfect modern myth. It's a blockbuster story that gives us a clear, simple, and incredibly dramatic answer to everything. It tells us we're special, that we were chosen and created by powerful beings from the stars. It gives our existence a purpose, even if that purpose is to be cosmic gold miners. It's a narrative that feels big enough to match the scale of the questions we're asking. And when you package that ancient mystery with the language of cutting-edge technology, it becomes almost irresistible. The phrase quantum AI is a masterstroke of marketing. Quantum sounds like magic, a leap into a new reality. AI sounds like infallible logic and truth. Put them together and you get a magic truth machine. a digital oracle that can supposedly bypass all human error and bias to give us the pure, unvarnished story of our past. It's a story that's tailor-made for an era that distrusts traditional authorities and experts. It whispers that the official story is a lie and that you, the viewer, are now part of an exclusive club that knows the real secret. But here's the critical flaw in that logic. The AI is not a magical truth machine. It's a spectacularly powerful pattern-matching engine. And like any engine, the quality of its output depends entirely on the quality of its fuel. If you feed it a library of legitimate, peer-reviewed translations of Sumerian tablets, it will learn the intricate patterns of their language and grammar. But if you also feed it the highly speculative, widely debunked theories of authors like Zecharia Sitchin, the AI will do its job. It will find patterns between the real texts and the fictional interpretations. It will see Sitchin's ideas as just another dataset, and it will dutifully weave them together into a single, seamless, and incredibly convincing narrative. It's not uncovering a hidden truth. It's generating a high-tech, hallucinated confirmation of a pre-existing belief. The AI isn't thinking, it's reflecting our own modern myths back at us with a scientific-sounding stamp of approval. The tragic irony in all of this is that by chasing this alien fantasy, we are ignoring a true story of human achievement that is arguably far more incredible. We end up giving away the credit for our ancestors' greatest accomplishments. Let's be clear, the Sumerians didn't need any outside help to be extraordinary. These are the people who, on their own, invented the concept of the city. They gave us the wheel, the sailboat, and the plow. They developed the world's first known system of writing. They created the first law codes, establishing the principle of justice for all. They were brilliant astronomers who mapped the stars and developed a complex calendar. They even gave us the way we measure time, the 60-second minute and the 60-minute hour. That's their legacy. To suggest they only accomplished these things because advanced beings showed them how is to rob them of their genius. It replaces a testament to human ingenuity with a footnote in an alien's logbook. But while the internet chases these cosmic ghosts, a quiet and profound revolution is actually happening in universities and labs around the world. The real story of AI and our ancient past is unfolding, and it's a story of meticulous discovery, not sensational claims. The sheer scale of the task ahead is immense. There are over 500,000 known cuneiform tablets scattered in museums across the globe. If you were to line them up, you'd have a library of clay stretching for miles. For centuries, translating them has been a painstaking process for a small handful of specialists. But now, real AI is changing the game. It's not about one big answer. It's about unlocking 500,000 tiny windows into the past. The technology is stunning. Researchers are using high-resolution three-dimensional scanners to create perfect digital copies of these tablets. The AI can then analyze every single wedge and groove on that digital model, an impression made by a scribe's stylus 5,000 years ago. It can learn to recognize the handwriting of individual scribes, differentiating their styles just as we might recognize a friend's signature. This has allowed them to group together tablets written by the same person, reassembling fragmented documents, and even identifying ancient schools of thought. Then comes the reconstruction. For tablets that are broken or worn down, the AI can predict the missing words or symbols based on the context of thousands of other texts. It's like a digital archaeologist piecing together the shattered puzzle of the past with a precision and speed no human could ever match. And the discoveries are pouring in. They aren't about sky gods, but they are absolutely rewriting history. Recent AI-assisted translations have uncovered detailed medical texts, revealing that Sumerian doctors had a sophisticated understanding of herbal remedies and performed rudimentary surgeries. They have decoded economic records that trace trade routes for copper and timber across thousands of miles, revealing a globalized economy thousands of years before we thought one existed. They're reading the schoolwork of children learning to write, the love poems of young couples, and the legal contracts that governed everyday life. We are learning not about alien masters, but about the Sumerians themselves, their hopes, their fears, their triumphs, and their very human problems. The future of this technology is even more exciting. Imagine an AI powerful enough to cross-reference the entire body of ancient world literature. It could trace the origin of the Great Flood myth from the Sumerian Epic of Gilgamesh, track how that story spread and changed as it was adopted by the Babylonians, the Assyrians, and eventually how it influenced the story of Noah in the Hebrew Bible. It could reveal the hidden web of connections that links all of our earliest cultures. That is the true promise of this technology. Not to find aliens in our past, but to find the common threads of our shared humanity. Of course, this power comes with a great responsibility. The sensational quantum AI narrative is a stark warning of how easily these tools can be used to create and spread misinformation. The path forward for ethical AI in archaeology requires total transparency. The datasets, the algorithms, and the results must be open to scrutiny and peer review. We must always remember that AI is a tool, not an oracle. It's a tool to help us understand the incredible story of what our ancestors were able to build with their own minds and their own hands. The real wonder isn't that gods came down from the sky. It's that humans, with nothing but mud, reeds, and sheer brilliance, learned to reach for them. Is this new wave of AI a tool to uncover objective truth? Or is it becoming the world's most powerful storyteller, capable of creating myths so compelling we can't help but believe them? Let us know your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more dives into the unknown.